up, guys? This is the Mike and D Casual Wrestling Hot Take Show, where each and every week, me and Mike drop two of our biggest hot takes on the community. If you enjoy the channel, make sure to support us with a casual wrestling membership on YouTube, starting at just $2.99 a month, or the Best Friends membership at $5.99 a month, which gets you a casual wrestling friendship bracelet. As always, I am the notorious Nerdy D, joined by Milwaukee Mike. If you don't want to join on a monthly basis, you can support the show through YouTube Super Chats, which guarantee your voice is heard before the end of the episode. Super Chats take priority over all other chats on the channel. We do have a VIP to talk about. Jamie Phillips is become a member of the channel, so he is at the VIP level. Thank you for supporting the channel and keeping the party alive. Mike, Jamie, we're going to do a Bash It Berlin VIP watch party.
Let's do it.
Are we doing it? We doing the thing there? It feels like the last. It's going to be at 11:30 in the morning, so that puts us on around like 1 or 2.
Okay. And what day is that again?
That is August 31st.
Okay. I'm gonna be traveling in the morning, but I should be settled.
I'll be on. If you can hit me from wherever you are, we'll get you.
I'll be in New York.
But
I should be able to get it. I should be able to get it. Yep, I should be able to do it. Yep.
So we'll be doing that. I enjoyed the last one, so we'll run that back. And then the only other thing is the Casual Wrestling Fantasy League is getting ready to start back up, and we're gonna do. We're gonna pick 3 wrestlers this time. That way we get some activity. You're gonna get a male, you get a female, and then you get a wild card choice.
Ooh. Okay.
And so your wild card, you'll be able to trade and drop and pick up with that one pick.
Last season was terrible. I that was not good for me.
Well,
that was not good for me.
Last time we picked like 8 people each, and that locked it in because nobody dropped or picked up. So you had your 8 and you were stuck. With 3, I think that's going to leave a lot of people out in the open where there's wiggle room to pick someone up who's trending and then drop them.
That's a good idea.
So I wanted to, and it'll make the draft go faster.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, it's that time again. Time to set the wrestling world on fire. Time to tickle the brains of the casual wrestling fans. We got to drop our hottest, sweatiest takes on the community, starting with, I'm going to go first. Mike, hot take number 1. Roman Reigns proved at SummerSlam without a shadow of a doubt, and I will not accept any arguments on this ever again. The chat can say whatever they want. The IWC can say whatever they want, but Roman Reigns proved he is the GOAT of all of professional wrestling. That it can be commandment number 1 in the Casual Wrestling Bible. It can be amendment number 1 on the Casual Wrestling Bill of Rights. It's not John Cena.
No.
It's not Ric Flair.
Talk that talk.
Stop bringing up The Rock, The Undertaker, all these other people. It's Roman is 1.
Yep.
And then we get to have conversations about 2 through 10. But Roman is 1. So that moment at SuperSlam, his music hits. We knew it. I mean, we had a high level of expectation it was coming still. Like The Rock says, Mike, goosebumps.
We try to tell him.
I mean, it was
we try to tell him.
For knowing what was going to happen, it was still absolutely electric. And you said something during that stream that kind of stuck with me, and I want to make it the slogan of casual wrestling, and that is, this is why we love wrestling.
Hell yeah.
It's moments
100%.
like that that's why we love wrestling. That when people go, why do you watch that shit? It's that goosebumps. It's that moment where you're just like, holy shit, that just happened. That when he hit the ooh, wow. That place fucking lit up. Like that was absolutely insane. The babyface pop that a returning Roman Reigns got in Cleveland with 57,000 fans. That's not matched. I get it. You go back to The Rock and Hogan, but that was a different time. We are in a different era of wrestling, and now I want to go on record here, Mike. I want to get your opinion on this. Roman Reigns already in my book greatest heel of all time, but we're about to witness the greatest babyface run of all time with Roman Reigns.
Okay,
that's just my opinion.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad. And I don't think it's a hot take to say that he's the greatest of all time.
I
Not
get
after the last
pushback.
3 years.
I get pushback.
Not after the last 3 years.
There's a lot of Roman hate.
Man, and for me, it's just like the acknowledgement. Funny to say that the acknowledgement at SummerSlam. I mean, it just goes to show you what he means to this business and to this company, right? Like, I think collectively as a community, we can all agree, whether you liked Roman or you didn't like Roman, what happened on Saturday, him coming back, you gotta salute it. And you have to understand like the aura and the story that comes with Roman Reigns. It's unmatched in this business. I don't want to hear anybody else's name, either WWE or AEW. Roman is the top tier. You have to chase him. He's going to be the one that you have to hunt now. And that's just a fact of life. It's just a fact of life. So yeah, for me, I don't think it's a hot take, but it could, I can see how it could be to some people.
Yeah, I got pushback. I've put it a couple places and I've gotten pushback, and I just don't think there's a question anymore. I mean, honestly, to me, This is me. This is Nerdy D, Mr. Overreaction to certain things. Mount Rushmore right now of professional athletes. We go Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky, Roman Reigns. That's it. Roman's on the mountain now. Like, what happened? Yeah. Or some people will never understand the level. There's levels to this wrestling shit.
Yep.
Roman just hit another level.
Oh yeah.
Like, WWE was cooking. Triple H has been cooking. There's little things we can nitpick for fun, right? And we can get into some of that later on. But, like, WWE was already, before Roman even came back, I think we might have been at the tip of the mountain, even over the Attitude Era. I feel like Triple H has got us set up where we were all excited. Now you take the greatest of all time and insert him back into the world of wrestling, and you go, hey, how can it get better than that? It's like eating your favorite food, and then like they put a new ingredient that you didn't know existed. It just like it got better. It's insane to me, Mike. It's insane, and it's insane to me that people can disagree with this take.
And he's such a dope dude too, right? Like, he's got the tattoos, he's got the look, right? The clean cut. He's rocking the Nikes, the Jordans. Like, he's just so like relatable to like modern culture, right? That it's just like, it's easy to kind of to root for him and to get behind him and his work in the ring and the story that he's kind of created over the last. Yeah, it's not matchable.
Yeah, he's like not a douchebag. That's like the great, like you're saying, like he's just all around good dad, good person. You start seeing these things of like, he gave some guy his wrestling boots that didn't have wrestling boots. Like, you just start hearing all this shit about Roman. It's like, on top of the fact that he's on top of the game, he is just like, he's somebody that you could, like, kids can look up to him.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's like Friday can't come fast enough.
Oh, I'm waiting.
Let's get this bloodline shit going. That's absolutely.
Hell yeah.
What'd you think of his new theme song? Because there's a little,
I
see
man.
Back and forth on the theme song.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I texted my brother, said, what do you think of the theme? And his response was, it's giving Final Boss vibes, which I completely agree with.
I would say like opposite Final Boss vibes. I think that's a great assessment, right? Final Boss kind of turns to the like evil, whereas this feels like fucking, it's like Iron Man is coming through the curtain.
Hell yeah. And I just want to paint a picture. Imagine those two theme songs in one match. That shit is going to be just
WrestleMania is going to, oh my God, it's going to be, if the stars align, if like they stay healthy and The Rock doesn't do some wild shit where he gets a wild hair and decides to take a movie, if the stars align and those two wrestle, it's going to be the biggest match of all time ever.
Easy.
And I don't think it would have been had we done it this past year. Like, the stars
100%.
are just, everything is just aligning. The fact that, like, there was the fear that, like, Roman loses to Cody and the aura of Roman goes away. No. The aura of Roman is bigger than it's ever been.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, that's going to be a big matchup. That's going to be humongous.
All right, drop your first hot take on me.
Yeah, man. So, my hot take is, I think WWE is going to regret putting that belt on Gunther. I really do.
This was my original hot take, so I love this. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
Man. I hopped in the Discord yesterday, or I think it was the live that you're doing, and I said he's the snooze general.
I'm with you.
It's just he's not interesting. He's not entertaining. His in-ring work, 100%, unmatchable. But everything else with Gunther, it's just something that I just cannot get behind, right? And I think they're going to end up regretting this because with Gunther, you assume that there's long title reigns, right? And I'm really dreading thinking that this dude's going to hold the title for 6-8+ months when you got Damian Priest now. He's cooking, man.
Second biggest babyface in the company right now.
That when he came out last night and he kind of sprinted to the ring, I'm like, oh man, this is perfect, right?
He's in the moment.
He's in the moment. And then when he paired up with Rhea Ripley last night, I'm just like, yeah, man, this is the dude. Like his second world title reign is going to be pretty epic, and he's got to have another one. I mean, based on where he's elevated to right now, you got to definitely get. And I wouldn't mind him being the one that defeats Gunther at some point again. Getting that lick back. But yeah, man, I think at some point, it's fun. It's a nice new shiny toy with Gunther, putting a new belt on him. But I think at some point, tables are going to turn here. And they're going to start seeing that, oh, well, it's just the same old spiel, walking out, I'm good, I'm better. He's got that, that cockiness to him, which I appreciate. But it's just the snooze general, man. I just can't get behind it.
When we talk about levels to this thing, we talk about titles, right? This whole shtick, because everybody's telling me, the argument is he's supposed to be boring, Nerdy D. He's supposed, that's his gimmick, right? That's great. We could do that with a mid-card title. We could do that. We can waste an intercontinental title on that. We can't do that with a world. We've done this before. We've had these champions that aren't exciting. It doesn't work long-term. And what you said, I swear to God, this was my second take before I panicked at the last minute and changed it. So I'm so glad you brought this up. This Damian Priest is on a hot streak. And so,
absolutely,
and I get it. He'll be fine. Damian's going to be fine. I made the argument. I'm excited for Randy Orton and Gunther. That'll be fun, right? But we all kind of have a prediction of where that's going, where that's heading. Damian Priest and Finn Balor much more interesting to me.
Oh yeah,
much more exciting,
especially after last night. Yeah,
once again, we talk about guys taking that. Damian took that step last night. Mm-hmm. And so he's now in that next echelon where I don't think Gunther's taken the step. I know that'll get argued by a lot of people will tell me that but besides just, favorable booking, holding a title for an extremely long amount of time, I don't still know what Gunther's done to deserve this level of, he slaps a lot of people. He slaps really hard, okay?
Really hard.
And he throws people around the ring, and that's great. And that works for the fucking 10 minutes that he's wrestling. But outside of those 10 minutes when he's in the ring, half the time he's wandering around empty arenas. He's gonna have to elevate on that microphone to get me to. I'm a little bit indifferent, right? I get that I'm supposed to dislike Gunther, but I don't dislike him enough to go he's a good heel. And I don't, sometimes you get those heels that you like. I don't like Gunther enough. So I'm a little indifferent on Gunther right now, which I think is the worst place you can be. And that's when you say the snooze general, that's the name we're coining for Gunther on this channel is the snooze general. Until he does something to wake us up, that is the snooze general.
I think for me, Gunther is the quintessential AEW prototype. That is if he went to that company, completely understand the stick and the gimmick being over there. But here, you got to think of who held this belt recently, right? Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre for 5 minutes, Damian Priest. Those are all three dudes now that kind of brought something to the table and were exciting. And now it's just kind of you just kind of hit a wall. And I'll reserve myself and see what happens over the next. But I think I've already had these preconceived notions of Gunther, and I'm not sure that I'm a fan of what may come.
Yeah, we give everybody here the opportunity to show us something, but we have to speak on what we see in the moment. We're speaking on the immediate right now, and right now when you, like you said, compare him to Seth Rollins, compare him to Drew McIntyre, compare him to the other options, Damian Priest, CM Punk, Roman's back, right? You have all these now. Right. These are the guys that could be world champions. So Gunther, it's going to be put up or shut up. Here's my problem. If someone like Big E struggled with a world title reign, I just don't know what Gunther has in the entertainment department that someone like Big E doesn't have. Because Big E was extremely entertaining.
Right.
So Gunther's he's got to flip a switch. He's either going to have to like double down on being heel, and just find, like you said, he's going to have to wake us up. That's what he's going to have to do.
Yeah.
Wavy D wants me to talk about my newfound love for the stud line.
Put the twos up.
Put the twos up. I like that.
That's what. What we got here?
What
we got here?
Yeah, I like that, Mike. That's the stud line. They were even rainbow. You planned that shit. That's good special effects right there.
Oh man, we are engulfed in the stud line.
The stud line. Yeah, man, the stud liner. I mean, look. If you ever wanted a group to get over with me, put them against Damage Control, because to me, fucking Damage Control makes no sense without Bayley to me.
I said last night in the chat, I said the stud line's gimmick should be kidnapping women talent and converting them into studs, and it could be like the Rainbow Ministry of Darkness.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's perfect for Netflix. Netflix will be okay with that kind of shit.
Yeah.
All right, let me drop my second hot take on you, Mike. Okay. I said this yesterday. I'm going to repeat myself, and I'm going to stand on business on this one. Jimmy Uso is a all-around better professional wrestler and sports entertainer than Jey Uso. When it comes to ability, it comes to the ability to tell a story. When it comes to creating entertaining moments, Jimmy is that guy. Jey Uso has the yeet. He's got the young audience behind him, but we can't forget the work that Jimmy was doing in the run up to WrestleMania with Roman. The no yeet, the kind of like, he kind of turned into the like bumbling kind of idiot, but it was great. Yeah. Like his subtle little things. It's the same credit I give to Kevin Owens when I say I think Kevin Owens is the best all-around wrestler in the world. That may be a hot take for another time. But same way I feel about Jimmy. I think Jimmy has so many intangibles that don't get talked about, right? Yeah, he doesn't have the big entrance. He doesn't have all these things, but it's the little things and his ability to add to a story that I think makes him more valuable long-term than Jey Uso. That's just my opinion.
Okay. I mean, listen, man, I think I see value in both the Usos. I can definitely say that I think Jimmy is definitely better in the ring for sure. So this would be my questions for you, right? Okay.
So where does Jey excel over Jimmy? Because outside of just entrance, right? Because entrance, I don't think anybody can match Jey right now. He's on a different level, but that's less about Jey and more kind of about circumstance, and WWE set him up that way. But if you just take the path of like the work they did in the bloodline, even what does Jey excel at that Jimmy doesn't excel at?
Probably marketability. I would say that's probably the bigger one. And like you said, I think that's kind of based on where the company kind of positions you. So I don't know if that's necessarily an advantage or not, but I would say marketability. I would say work. That's a good comment by you. I think that's something that you definitely have to really think about. Yeah, for sure.
Because I see Wavy D says here that Jey was cooking in the storyline that led to the formation of the bloodline. Don't disagree, but are those not all circumstance? That's circumstantial, right? That's Jimmy being hurt, so Jey becomes that guy. If we take circumstances and we flip them around, I think Jimmy can pull off the gimmick of Jey. Yeah. If he had to, if that was his situation. I think Jimmy is pushing Jey to be the guy. I think that Big Brother wants Little Brother to go out there and succeed. But I think like when you look at the run, go back 6 months before WrestleMania, and Jimmy was a lot of times when Roman wasn't there, Jimmy was kind of running the bloodline and like taking control in the back, and we were entertained by the things he was doing. Whereas I don't think Jey Uso has ever led a show, right? There's no point in Monday Night Raw where Jey Uso was the through line. Jimmy has been the through line on SmackDown when Roman wasn't there. It was Jimmy and Heyman working together were very good together.
Yeah, and Solo.
Wavy D says Jay proved twice that he can get over and succeed as a singles wrestler. That's not the argument I'm making. I think if we're talking about better singles wrestler, I go Jey Uso. I'm talking about just all encompassing everything you could bring up when you're talking about wrestling.
I don't know that Jimmy got a shot to be a singles wrestler.
Right? I just don't think it's just opportunity for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Nor do I think he's pushed for it. He probably is comfortable, right? You got a job where you're with your wife and you're with your family, and you can get little brother, you can get him over, and you can just show up and drop like little funny, quips here and there. I don't know that Jimmy ever wants to be that guy. I think he's happy in his spot.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, what's your second take?
So I don't know if it's a take. It's just kind of more like a statement, right?
Yeah.
I think WWE should go back to WWF. It should be World Wrestling Factions.
Ooh.
Because that is the direction that the WWE is going right now. There is, if you really step back and take a look at the whole picture, factions are coming and popping up left and right. And I think that's the direction Triple H is going, which I'm not mad about, because it for one, it gets more talent involved, right? Like, we laugh and joke about the stud line, and I think at first we were kind of like, this is stupid, but slowly over the last couple weeks, they're kind of growing on us, right? And then you got the damage controls, you got the Judgment Days, the Bloodline, the Final Testament, New Day, the unnamed Holy Trinity on SmackDown. It's just everywhere you look.
We have a name for them.
What is there a name?
What was it, Wavy D? Wavy D, I know you're here. What did we officially coined the Unholy Trinity something, and it's I got to write these down. We have a name.
But yeah, man,
I'll get back to you.
But yeah, it seems like that's and it makes sense with somebody at the helm like Triple H, where he came from a faction, right? So it does set up a lot of good storylines that can come, because you can do the factions, you could do one person from each faction, you can kind of create stories over time with these factions, and I'm not mad at it. I'm interested to see what happens with this New Day situation. I know it's it looked like Woods was a little unhappy about it, but if I was back there writing, I would kind of play with it a little bit. I would let the three of them kind of get together and see what happens there. And if it doesn't work out, then you can kind of be like, okay, I'm not happy with it. But yeah, man, I think the world of factions is growing on us, and I'm not mad about it.
So Big E kind of gave his blessing, right?
Yeah, I seen that.
To Odyssey. I'm with you on the New Day stuff. While I want Xavier to flourish, and if that means him having to leave, that's fine. But there's also a world where they don't have to rush this. I'm like you. Let's see if Odyssey adds an element that kind of revives the New Day, and then we could do the breakup 6 months from now. There's nothing wrong with pushing that back, because this works. By the way, the name was Dental Control. That's the name we've coined for the Unholy Trinity, is Dental Control.
Man, we're going to get canceled.
That's all right. This is why I don't give a fuck. This is why I don't care anymore. We just keep recording to nobody. It doesn't matter. So I'm with you on this faction thing. Because I don't think I've ever picked up on this happening, but this is probably why I'm enjoying wrestling more, because I think from a sociological standpoint, that's how human beings work, right? We tend to group up into teams, and so it makes sense, and it does give value to, now you don't have to do the same two people week after week after week after week, right? With the stud line and damage control, you have 6 people you can intertwine to give you different matches and go whichever direction, right? We thought we were getting Dakota Kai. Instead, we get Io Sky. Yep. I absolutely love that. I don't think I realized how many factions were coming together, and you're right. It is World Wrestling Factions, Final Testament. And I think what you said is absolutely right about like the stud line. Individually, they're okay. They came together We added the element of comedy to it within our own little community.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen when it's just Zoe Stark. You put these three people together and you give us something to it's the sports mentality, right? Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. You just people are tribalistic. I'm extremely tribalistic, right? If I'm a WWE fan, I'm probably not an AEW fan. It's goes back to days of like 50 Cent and Ja Rule. I always took a side. That's why I said last night, the way I want to experience wrestling from here on out is every time there's a story, I've got to commit. I've got to commit to a side and stop trying to be logical and stop doing the thing where I go, this guy's going to win. No, just fuck it. I'm going to cheer for Randy Orton. And I'm going to be excited if Randy, and I'm going to be sad if he loses. And that, to me, what happened was I was watching SummerSlam, and I saw the excitement on people's faces when, like, Roman came back. I'm like, they're genuinely excited. And I think I've lost a little bit of that in trying to, like, overanalyze shit. So what you're saying is, right, this faction thing gives you the ability to root for groups of people, right? I never thought in a million years that I would be cheering for Zoe Stark, Shayna Baszler, and Sonya Deville, but now all of a sudden, we're Team Studline over here.
Yeah, man, and it makes for a cohesive show, right? Because
100%.
Now you've got different elements to stories that you can kind of add to it. Like last night, I look up, it's 8:45.
Oh man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're rolling with a pretty decent show here, and a lot of factions were involved in that show last night. So I like the direction that it's going.
All right, before we jump over to our SummerSlam rankings, I just want to get your take on the Wyatt Six, because I've eaten some shit today about saying I want to clarify. When I say I think they fell flat, I don't mean, like, I understand the crowd popped for them, right? And I understand that it was exciting. It just wasn't, it didn't match my expectation. And maybe that's my fault. Maybe I set my expectation too high. But the fear we all had was once the mask came off and they had to get in the ring and wrestle, they immediately became, well, two of them became for sure, Rowan and Gacy. That's what I saw. Yeah. Then Loomis was a different character to me. But I saw Rowan and I saw Gacy without much difference from who they always were. I want your take on the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, man. I think we'll start with the entrance, and I'm not a fan of them having the old Bray theme music. I think they have to kind of, because you mentioned this. This is starting to feel like a tribute.
Yeah,
and you can only do that for so long, right? Like I seen clips go online last night from after the show, and they're in the ring and they're pointing up to the sky, and it's just like, I get it, but at some point we got to start separating ourselves a little bit. Like there'll always be elements of Bray in this group because that's just the fact of the whole thing, right? But so the theme music kind of threw me off from the jump, because as they're walking down to the ring and it's kind of that upbeat, like it didn't work for me. And then, the in-ring stuff, I'm not mad at the masks are off. I think I kind of predicted that I wanted to see them take the masks off. So I'm not mad at that part. I think what really kind of did it for me last night was, I don't want this to become a wins and losses thing. Like when Dexter Loomis pins a 1, 2, 3, that's where you kind of lose me a little bit now, because it's like you got this group that kind of just seems like it should just be destructive.
Why are they following rules? What? Are they after titles?
I don't know, and I don't want that to be the direction that this goes, because the moment that you start making this more about wins and losses and titles and stuff, and kind of go away from like the I don't know what the word would be, but like the kind of like I don't want to say supernatural, but like the kind of spooky, the moment you go away from that is the moment that you're going to start losing people. Like that was the issue with Bray Wyatt as the Fiend. Right. He started going into these matches and now he has to wrestle and now he has to take losses or wins. And it's just like, you kind of lose the aura of the whole thing.
Same with Karrion Kross. Same argument can be with Karrion Kross.
Same with that. So yeah, I don't know what the direction is going to be moving forward, but if it's going to be matches and wins and losses, that is where you're going to end up losing me.
Yeah. And I want to go on record and say, when I say take the mask off, I too am in favor of them taking the mask off. My argument for taking the mask off is Dexter Loomis takes the mask off and I'm like, oh shit, This dude's committed.
Yeah.
His hair's different. He
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
looks crazy.
Yeah.
Gacy looked like Gacy when the mask came off. Rowan looked like Rowan. Let's do some makeup. Let's smear some black shit all over our face and look a little crazier than like mask come off. And now I'm seeing the same render that I see on WWE.com forever of Joe Gacy. And yeah, maybe he's got on a maroon shirt instead of fucking black, but it's still Joe Gacy to me. That's what I mean when I say take the mask off. This is what I thought the whole time was that match was going to start and they were just going to ignore the rules.
That's what I was thinking.
I thought they were just, fuck the ref, screw everything about this. We'll destroy, leave these guys in a pile in the middle of the ring, and the show's going to end, and there should be a push and pull between, like, Adam Pearce calling Bo Dallas into his office and being like, I can't keep you guys around if you're not going to play by the rules, and Bo being like, I keep talking to them. They just don't listen, and things like that.
Now here's where you can save things, right?
Okay.
And this is just me just blabbling.
Bring me back.
So remember when we got actually Bo Dallas in the ring?
Yes.
At one point, we could do matches with wins and losses with Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
Out of the costume and mask. We could do matches with Rowan out of the costume and mask and do that. But when we were presented as a group, no. Like rules are out the window. Like
I also don't know how they're going to work as baby faces.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Yeah,
that to me, like, there's so much. Like, it feels like a tribute concert. But then I don't know if I need that at the main event. If that's what it's going to be, and I'm fine. If we're just going to come out and go, this is the Bray Wyatt tribute tour. Let's do it like on the second hour every night.
Yeah. I thought they were going to start the show. That's where I was. I thought they were going to start, and then they said it's a main event. That's when I started thinking like, this like you're building this up as a main event, and it's just like when you start building it as a main event and not just like just a segment or a match. That's where you start to kind of like, all right, and then you get the pin count. It's just like, all right, we'll see what happens next, I guess.
Yeah, because the weird thing, it's like, to me, I said this, when the lights are off, they're great. They're spooky. And so if you have to close the show by turning the lights back off, I don't love that optic.
I'm not with that.
Yeah, the closing should have been that this American-made group, which, by the way, I like a lot. But I do like that. This American-made group should have just been laid out in the middle of the ring, and there should have been no finish, and everybody just looking around like, okay, I don't know what the hell just happened, but this group is not going to. Clearly, they don't do tag team matches.
Yeah, and I kind of want this Gable connection to be done now. Like the match happened, let's move on. Let's get something different.
Yeah, because I mean, really, it just becomes why so focused on. At some point, they're going to have to let us know. There are other people that are doing shitty things in WWE to their friends. Why have they honed in on trying to murder Gable? Someone told me, by the way, that it was only Gable that committed that act in the back of the arena the first week. I'm not Gable. It was only Uncle Howdy. But they were all there, weren't they?
Yeah, they showed themselves.
One was like standing in the hallway. One was sitting on top of the boxes.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what that was. Someone was trying to explain that to me. Quentin here says, they should do it like how Bray did against The Miz during the pandemic. I don't know what he's referencing.
The Miz did the pandemic.
If you can expand on that, Quentin, we'll touch on it. But I don't know exactly what the reference is there.
Bray did the Miz in the pandemic. I'm trying to recall. I'm not getting there with it, but. I want them to separate because I want this American-made group to actually thrive because I like it.
They need to go back and finish off the Alpha Academy because after that fucking commercial, Otis deserves the fucking the Wyatt 6 needs to go after Otis after that.
They got to get Otis. Yeah.
All right, Mike. Let's do a tier maker here. We've got the 7 matches from SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is. We're going to put them in tiers. We're not going to rank them 1 through 7. We've got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. Because I think it'd be too easy to go 1 through 7. Let's break this down. Let's be objective on what really an S level match is, right? Because that is that's as high as a high, right?
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
D, which I doubt we're gonna have a D tonight, but D is the low of the low.
Okay, okay. So S, did we have an S match?
So do you want to go match by match? I have them down here, and then
let's go match by match.
So the first one on the list here is Bailey and Nia Jax. Let's talk about, and the rule is once we lock it in, it's stuck.
Yeah,
we can't move.
It's stuck. Yeah, okay. That was a pretty mid-level match for me. Entertaining, like it. I'm not mad that we watched it. I'm not mad at the result, but I think in terms of like 6 months from now, when we look back at SummerSlam, is that gonna be like one of the first 3 that pop in our head?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
No, I get you. And so what we have to be objective, because I think when we do this ranking, this is against not just SummerSlam, but I think this is against the spectrum of wrestling.
Okay.
Right. So where would that matchup fit if it was on a different card? So I'm with you. Like, to me, that match, and this is weird because we're talking about a premium live event that I think we both said 10 to 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm somewhere at a low B, high C on this match, and I think it's got to be B.
I think a low B. I think a low B
because I don't think you can have a 10 out of 10 and then go you had a C level match.
Yeah, I'm with. Yeah, well, there is one C-level match on this card, but yeah, I'm with you.
Well, then we'll get there.
Yeah.
Because that's interesting, right? If we start getting these B's and C's and we look back and we go, this is a 10 out of 10, what does a fucking 6 look like? Just D's across the board?
Yeah.
All right, second match I've got here is Sammy and Braun.
That's the C for me.
This is your C.
That's the C, because I think
even though it accomplished the goal,
it accomplished the goal, but I think what happened was the goal really should have happened at Money in the Bank. I mean,
agree with that. Now, does that affect the ranking of this individual match, or does that affect the ranking of the storyline in general?
I think the match, because the Money in the Bank match was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then this one was kind of like, you can tell this was just more of like, all right, let's get the belt on him now.
Yeah. So if it was a squash match, where are you putting it?
If it was a squash match, it probably
it's like an A, right?
Yeah. Because then it's like, all right, that's pretty dominant. Like that's what we all kind of expected.
Would we argue this a high C though? If I mean, I know on this chart there's not let me click over so everybody can see.
High C, because it accomplished what had to happen.
Yeah, I think I think me and you both agree they took the long way to get to where we were going.
Yeah.
We would have liked for it to happen quicker.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Damian Priest and Gunther.
Okay. This was a solid showing. The bloody chest and the interference of the match and I'll go like high B.
I think that's a good call.
I think high B.
I think you have to leave ceiling for some of the other things that happen. I think high B is almost as high of a B. Oh, and when we do these, we got to so I'm placing that left of Nia and Bailey because we want them to kind of read in order.
I got
That makes sense. So higher B than Nia. Yeah, I think that's almost as high of a B as you can get without like jumping to that low A. I'm with you on that. So right now we've got B level Gunther and Damian. Low B we've got Bailey and Nia, and then under that we've got Sammy and Braun.
I like it so far. I like it.
So now we've got Punk and McIntyre.
Okay.
I'm interested to see where you go here.
Okay. So I think you have to first, let's say the special guest referee spot better than what I expected. Did not take away from the match. It kind of elevated the match in a way, which I'm happy about.
Definitely elevated, and I think based on what we saw Monday, I think they're just kind of going the reverse of what we thought, right? We thought they were going to go from Drew to introducing Seth. I think they introduced Seth. Now they're getting him out of there, and we're going to get a proper Drew and Punk moving forward.
And then I got to think, Punk looked good in the ring.
Now remember the bracelet.
Didn't get hurt.
Don't forget the bracelet.
Bracelets involved.
Bracelet.
Which at this point, do we consider that an elevation?
I think we have to embrace the bracelet, Mike.
We got to embrace it, man. We have to
embrace the bracelet.
We got to embrace
because it's not going anywhere, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a part of the story.
I think the storytelling through the match was good. I liked how they started it, where it was just kind of like out of the ring, just really just brawling it out. I think you have to look at this match as better than Damian and Gunther, which I think throws this at a low A. I think it's a low A.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a low A.
I think that's the proper spot, and we'll see where things go around that. But it's going to set the bar for what A is.
Yeah,
on this list.
Yeah,
and then we'll play with what's around that.
Yeah.
For all the same reasons. The bracelet kept it from being an S from me. I'm embracing the bracelet moving forward, but it kept it from being, because it was a good match. It was a good match, and I'm definitely excited moving forward. I've now coined CM Bitch. We have CM Bitch Boy.
Yeah,
we're gonna get him a participation ribbon because he was so excited to be there. He was so happy that he got to perform in a wrestling match, hugging Stephanie McMahon and all that bullshit.
You can go what does he say? The best in the world.
Yeah,
you could go. The bitch of the world. Something like that.
Or best participator.
Yeah, best participator. Yeah,
participation award. The hustling. He got the hustling award.
Yeah.
All right, so then we go Logan and LA Knight.
I like this match, man.
I do too.
This
is. I'm glad it's here because I think we've kind of got the table set now.
Yeah.
For where these things are, but this is one that I'm interested to hear your take on where this goes on the list.
I think there was some spots in the match that were pretty awesome. That Logan backflip was crazy. That was crazy to me. Logan's good, man. Logan, we just gotta accept it, man. Like he's good. I seen somebody on X say, "Hey, Logan in the ring might be better than Will Ospreay."
People are gonna hate that argument, but Will is a circus kid. Like, he's a circus freak. That's what makes him exciting. He doesn't sell, and Logan is an entertainer. Mm-hmm. Logan makes the crowd pay attention. I'm all for that. He's a better performer than Will Ospreay.
Could Logan do what Will Ospreay does?
100%.
I think that's the question.
100%. Yeah, and you're talking about a guy. Give him 2 years of training full time, and Logan's probably top 3 in the entire sport and I think it is because of that. Like, he brings in that entertainer mentality to already being a solid athlete.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So I think so we start looking at this.
Yeah, I think we got the outcome we wanted.
Yep.
I think there's spots in the match that were good.
In a way that didn't kill Logan.
That didn't kill Logan.
Logan's now suing LA Knight.
That is hilarious.
Great.
That was hilarious. That's hilarious,
way to keep the ability that if Logan wants to come back at any point,
he can do it.
It's right back in it.
Yeah. I would probably say this is right there with Punk and Drew. I don't think I could put him above.
Okay.
But I could say that it's right there with him.
So it's
right there with him.
Just right behind. I'm with you. I think that's where I was going to go.
Okay.
All right. So then that leaves Liv and Rhea.
When I look back at this match, I'm not going to remember much about it outside of the shoulder pop and the Dom turn. And the match itself was, I think that's the issue when you get a match with Liv Morgan. You're not going to get a whole lot, like, in terms of like that A-level, like Rhea and Becky. That's a A-level match. Rhea and I don't know who else. She destroyed everybody, but
I'll make the argument to you though.
Okay, make the argument.
Does the match, what percentage does the match actually matter, or is it the soap opera and the theatrics surrounding it and what you leave the night with, is that what matters more?
So, I mean, the soap opera, that was the match. I mean, because
this set in motion what we saw Monday. We don't have that new Judgment Day on Monday. If everything that incorporates in this match at SummerSlam doesn't happen, I'm going to argue this is as low of an S as you can get.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a counter argument.
Okay,
make a counter argument. I think what happened in the Rhea Liv match could still happen. I think what happened in the Damian Gunther match is what really got us to Monday.
Interesting.
I'm
with you. The Finn turn.
The Finn turn is what really got yesterday going.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd argue equal because I think more what I took away from seeing the Judgment Day was Liv and Dom than it was Finn being leader. I think I was comfortable seeing Finn being leader. I think seeing like Liv kissing on Dom was like, oh fuck, everything's changed.
Could we say the soap opera between the Damian match and the Rhea match are kind of equal?
Yes, like 100%. Yes.
So then I think we got to put it where the Damian Gunther match is.
Oh shit! So you're going B?
I think that's because I don't know that you get elevated above. I don't know. Because I think we all seen the Dom thing happening. I don't know that we've seen the Finn thing happening, at least not yet.
No, I didn't see it happening that night. I agree with that. I do agree with that. I just think to me, maybe it's just starting the show. All right, so we're going B. Now are we going below Gunther and Damian?
Well, okay, before we throw it in.
Yeah.
Where do we see this? Because it's part of this kind of scripting what's going to happen.
What do you mean?
Like it's part of this grading, kind of looking ahead and kind of thinking what's going to happen. I think
you have to a little bit because you're setting events in motion. I don't think definitively you can go, this match was great because this is gonna happen. But I think you have to, as a fan, like as a casual fan. In the back of your mind, we know that has begun chapter 2 of Dominic and Liv and what's going to happen moving forward.
You know what? I'm gonna elevate. I'm gonna go low A. I'm gonna go low A.
I think that's
I'm gonna go low A because I will say when the Dom thing happened, Damian charged the locker room. He got in Finn's face, and I think that's what sparked Finn to. Started. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go low A.
I like
put it low A.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair, and that'll get probably piss people off. So we're good there.
That's fine.
We've got Cody and Solo.
There's only one thing about this match.
It's Roman.
It was the return.
Yeah,
it was a return.
Yeah,
and can we agree that his return is? I mean, it's
above S. It's whatever's above S that doesn't exist. Yeah. But
like him coming back to wrestling is, I mean, that's, yeah.
Here's the question. This is the argument we have to make. When we set this in stone,
is there going to be something above it?
No. Is Roman's return? Do you count that as part of this match? Do we give Cody and Solo because Roman's picture is not on here?
Okay.
But we did this with Liv and Rhea. We said that we encompassed everything. So the argument we have to kind of take care of, because it's simple, right? If we're including Roman, this goes to the top of the list. But the argument has to be made, is Roman's return something in itself, or is it a part of this match?
I mean, he speared and Superman punch. I mean, that got Cody the win. So I think he's got to be part of the match.
I agree.
Yeah, he's got to be part of the match.
I think it is 100% part of that match. So S, right? I mean, that's.
I would. So is there like a low S, mid S, or is it
because
just
we
S?
only have one S, we're going.
Okay.
By low and high, what I was trying to do was like if there's multiple A's, give us room to put something in front of the other ones. I forget you can't see what I'm looking at. It's just it's just S, A, B, C, D, and then I can slide things over left and
I got
right.
you.
So right now there's nothing at S. So if we put that at S, it stands on the top of the mountain by itself. It can be high or low, whatever anybody wants to make of that.
The importance of Roman coming back sets up Mania 41, sets up a bloodline continuing, sets up, Cody possibly elevating somewhere else. Like, it just, it's an S.
Breezy in the chat says it was bloodline rules. That was 100%. Roman is part of.
He's part of the bloodline rules.
I 100% Breezy. That's putting it into legitimate terms. She said bloodline rules was the match stipulation allowing Roman to get involved. Yeah, that solidifies it. That makes the argument that his picture's not on the card there, but
he was in it.
He was in it. So so this is what it looks like for us, Mike.
Okay,
we got S tier solo Cody with Roman's return.
Yep.
Then on A tier, second best match of the night according to us was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Okay. Third, Logan Paul versus LA Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth, Liv and Rhea Ripley, which I think is controversial, but we've talked ourselves into this.
Right.
Fifth is Damian and Gunther. Sixth was Bayley and Nia Jax. And last is Sammy and Braun Breaker. Looking at that, the way we have it, I agree with you. This is good. Is it still a 10 out of 10, though?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
So you can have a C-level match on a 10 out of 10 card, or is it like a 9.9 and you have to leave that little bit of room for the card where you don't get that C? Because here's the question. 10 is masterpiece, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're saying we didn't think Sammy and Braun was perfect. Can something be a masterpiece if it has flaws?
Yeah, because I think it sets you up now for the next couple months, next chapters of the thing. I think if it was a C level, like let's say it was a C match with no title involvement.
Gotcha.
Then you start to look at it like,
we
all right,
still got the result we wanted.
Right.
We're being nitpicky on the C. I think I could argue that being a low B. I'm okay with it being real high C. I think I could argue based on the 10 out of 10 argument that is the lowest of the Bs.
Yeah, I think the reason it's a 10 out of 10 pay-per-view or PLE, I should say, is because when you look at each match and you look at the result of each match, you can see that, okay, what's to come after that is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, like it's what it's set up down the line.
Yeah, yeah.
You got anything else?
Nah, man. I listen, man. Wrestling is wrestling. We seem to think it was on a different level, and now it's just like, holy shit! Like, because this is usually the period.
No,
this is usually the period
when it starts slowing down.
And then now it's like, holy shit! Like,
there's gonna be no winter layoff this year.
And Trips is like, hey, we got big things planned towards the end of the year here. So I'm like, all right, I'm strapped. I'm ready.
Thank you guys for hanging out and coming to the Mike and D Hot Take Show. As always, you guys are invited to the rest of the Hangouts this week, including the Casual Wrestling Community Block Party on Thursday, the SmackDown After Party on Friday, and next week's Raw VIP Monday Night Party. We hope to see you here, same time, same place next week for another episode of the Mike and D Show. But for now, that's all we got. The party never stops in the Discord. Like, share, and comment on this video. I am Nerdy D. That's my guy, Milwaukee Mike, and we are out of here.